Hi, I'm Lauren, and I'm a dietetic intern at Seattle Pacific University. I'm working with the Lynnwood Food Bank to show you how to make healthy eating simple. The USDA's My Plate Nutrition Guide can be used to model your own meals and make healthy choices. The My Plate model shows half the plate filled with fruits and veggies, a quarter filled with lean protein, and a quarter filled with complex carbohydrates. Complex carbohydrates are carbs that have not been refined, such as whole grain bread and brown rice. In order to improve your health in a way that will last for a lifetime, it is best to make small changes and build up healthy habits little by little. Starting with just one change at a time will keep things from getting too overwhelming or seeming unachievable. One simple swap that can be made is switching out butter for olive oil. Butter is a saturated fat, which raises LDL or bad cholesterol. Olive oil is a healthier option for when you need to use fat in a recipe. Another simple swap is switching out high sodium products for their lower sodium replacements. Lowering your sodium intake can help to lower your cholesterol and prevent heart disease. Another swap could be swapping processed carbs for whole grains. An example of this would be swapping out white bread for whole grain bread. Whole grain bread digests slower, so it keeps your blood sugar steady and it keeps you fuller for longer. Take a second to think of 3 small changes that you could make to some of the meals that you eat frequently. Pause the video if you need more time to think about what small swaps you can make. Try implementing these changes in 1 or 2 meals next week. It can often feel overwhelming to try to find the healthier foods when you're at the grocery store. But once you learn how to navigate the nutrition facts label, you can make better choices for yourself. Take a second to look at this nutrition facts label. We are going to go looking for a few things. Feel free to pause the video if you need more time to look. First, let's find how many calories are in a serving of this food and how big one serving is. You can see here the highlighted parts are the important places to look for calorie information. Calories per serving are listed, as well as how much is in one serving. Calories needed daily will vary between individuals based on gender, age, weight, and many other factors. Now, let's look for the fat content of this food. Let's find total fat and saturated fat. How much of the recommended daily amount for the average person or daily value does saturated fat reach? You can see here I've highlighted where you'll find information on fat. We can see that there are 0 grams of total fat, and therefore there's 0 grams of saturated fat. If we look to the right, we can find the daily value. Of course, if we have 0 grams of fat, this will make up 0% of your daily value. Keep in mind the daily values represent the amount needed for the average adult, and amounts needed will vary between individuals. To find an amount specific to your needs, look up the RDA, or recommended dietary amount, for your age and weight. We can see here that there is 115 milligrams of sodium in each serving. We can also see that this is listed as 5% of your daily value of salt. This food will be considered a low sodium food. High sodium foods are around 20% or more of your daily value. Salt and saturated fat in high amounts can cause or worsen high blood pressure and heart disease. So this food with the low sodium content and the 0 grams of fat is going to be very heart healthy. Now that we know some healthy swaps, like switching butter for olive oil, and we know how to use food labels to find items that are lower in sodium and saturated fats, you can use what we learned to tweak some of your favorite recipes. Food is an important part of every culture and is used for celebrations, holidays, and bringing family together. Let's take a look at bulgogi. Bulgogi is also known as Korean barbecue, and it's a dish that originated in the Goguryeo or era, which begins around 37 BCE. Basically, that's a long time ago. And this dish is so good that it stood the test of time and is still eaten regularly today. Next, let's take a look at enchiladas. Originating in Mexico, this dates back to the Mayans. Originally, this dish was empty corn tortillas that were dipped into sauces. Over time, people began stuffing the tortillas with meats and cheeses, and enchiladas became the dish that we know today. You don't have to give up foods you and your family love in order to eat healthier. In fact, just a simple small swaps can take a meal and make it very nutritious. Let's look at this bulgogi here. Let's take a second to think about what changes we might be able to make. I would swap out the soy sauce for a lower sodium soy sauce instead. And I would serve the dish with a lot of veggies and brown rice to increase nutrients and fiber. For enchiladas, you could choose a lean meat like chicken and maybe a low fat cheese to put inside. I would also replace any sour cream that I wanted to use with some plain Greek yogurt. Take a second now to think of your favorite dish, the one that you absolutely love making over and over again. Now try to come up with one or two simple switches that will increase the health benefits. This can be as simple as swapping out the carb for a complex carb, or even just adding some veggies on the side. Thanks for listening.